Filing deadline just a few days away. We have more last-minute advice on putting your paperwork together. Today from John Olerio of Webster Bank's Investment Services Division. Our tips today have to do with making sure you claim all the deductions you are entitled to. And I guess from your experience, a lot of people just skip some pretty obvious stuff.
They really can. Some people don't actually even itemize at all. Only about 1 in 4 people actually itemize, Frank.
Well, we'll get to the itemization in just a minute. Obviously, you have to get your documents in order, as you can see these individuals are doing now. But let's talk about something that's kind of new this year, and it's the new requirements regarding the Obamacare health care law.
Yes, so the Affordable Care Act, it's simple. It's actually just a box that the taxpayer must check off to prove that they had an approved health care plan in 2014. You do not have to attach anything. You just need to make sure you check off the box. You should make sure that you truly do have the documentation that you had it in case you need it. Now, if you did purchase your health insurance through the insurance marketplace, then you should have received a Form 1095-A, and that you will need to make sure that you can appropriately and correctly file your taxes.
Because you could be fined, possibly, if you don't do this stuff.
If you don't have insurance, then you would be fined, yes.
All right, extender tax breaks. What are they, briefly?
Yes. Those were some provisions that were going to be sunsetted and taken out, but then they were extended so that they can still be used as deductions. And the more deductions, the better, Frank, is what I always think. One of them is the ability still to deduct state and local sales tax as opposed to state income tax. Another is a $4,000 credit for higher education, and that is still available. And the third is if you're over 70 and a half, the ability to make a tax-free contribution directly to a charitable organization.
Now, you and other guests here have talked about this in the past, but it bears repeating. Tax return fraud is getting more and more extensive.
It really is, and it's a problem. The number is astounding. Last year, the IRS estimates there were over 5 million returns that were filed with stolen identities, and that's big. And I think the IRS is making a Herculean effort to make sure they combat this. I think it definitely is getting under control, but I think it hit, hopefully, its height last year and will be something that is controlled this year.
All right, just seconds left, but the big controversy, itemizing versus just taking the standard deduction. Apparently, not too many people itemize.
Again, as I said earlier, it's just only 1 in 4 people who will itemize. 2002 study, the IRS showed that about 2.2 million tax filers overpaid because they did not itemize. So it's something you need to really consult with your tax professional, or if you're going to do it yourself, you really need to go through and actually, compare one versus the other and make sure you make the right decision. It's your money. Make sure you get it.
And thank you, John Olerio from Webster Bank, for joining us today.
Thank you, Frank.